This is the first time I will ever say that something looks absolutely better in person than it does on camera. Like, I wish I could just show you guys in person how amazing this paint looks. It is so beautiful. Oh my god. I can't wait for this to get cut and buffed. It looks so good already as it is, but once it's cut and buffed, it's going to be like... Alright, so Alex told me, gave me a fine comb tooth rule set here. Got a little run right here, which he's going to make it go away. That's just a clear run. The actual paint itself, there are no runs in the actual paint itself. He just put a lot of clear on there. This is a tri-coat paint, so yeah, dude, this looks so sick. So Alex told me I gotta push it out in the sun and stuff. He said he would like me to push it out into the sun. So I'm push it out of the sun so that way it can, you know, bake up a little bit. I'll set you guys up on the Le Mini truck. Let's go. Let's take a quick little walk around of this thing real quick. God, she's a little dirty. I'm gonna grab the old fiber cloth and clean it up. I've got a bird poop on it already. Dude, my car is gonna be so sick, man. Look at that. I don't even, it's so bright to me, like I can't even see, but like, so there's like a very faint glint of green pearl with the white pearl. So, I don't know if it's going to show a little bit more. I'm pretty sure Alex said that it'll show a little bit more once it's all cut and buffed. But there is a hint of green pearl in there to give a little bit of a match to the engine bay. And obviously the engine bay is absolutely gorgeous. This is like some of the nicest thing. This is the nicest car I've ever had. I mean, it's a Supra, so it needs to live up to its reputation. But like, I've never had a car with this perfect of paint. I mean, I guess you could consider the old Jeep that, but it's not exactly brand new. This paint was literally just sprayed, so God, I am so stoked. This thing looks so sick. God, Alex did such a great job. So anyways, Alex wants me to do a couple things. He technically wants me to have the whole car back together before we put body parts back on. So all the fenders and everything he's gonna come get. He's got my hatch and my wing and my doors and my mirrors and my door handles. So he's gonna bring all this stuff back to me, and then he's gonna take the hood, the fenders, the bumpers. I think he's going to take the hood and the fenders first, and then he's going to take the bumpers later. So I'll be able to have the whole car back together aside from the bumpers. But the plan is he wants me to have the engine and everything back in the car, which means I got to drop the subframe because I'm not going to have that in the car with the engine bay looking like this. That clash is so hard. Look at that freaking thing sitting next to this. So I'm going to drop this. I'm going to pressure wash everything. I got to fix that boot right there. And then there's a small little rip on that one. So I'm going to fix those two boots. And I'm also going to be pressure washing everything and all the ugly stuff that's like obviously old and faded. I'm going to be spraying black with a nice gloss clear so we can get everything just matching. I'm also going to be, right now, while the car sits out in the sun and bakes, I'm not going to do anything engine related until I actually feel like it. The engine is done. I just got to put it in here, but I'm not at the moment prepared for that just yet. I'm going to be cleaning out the interior of the car. You guys can see it's fairly dusty. Obviously, it's been sitting in the paint shop for a little while. Started cleaning her up pretty well here. I can't really do much. So the way the Supras work with the interior parts, you guys can kind of see, I haven't really put anything back in. I put my foam and stuff back in the hatch, but I can't put anything in until these quarter glass windows are in. And that is because everything literally stacks. So in order to put the lower panel in, this guy right here, in order to put this in, I have to have the window panel, this guy. This is the very first piece that goes in. So I have to put that in, and then this piece goes over, and then it's this piece, and then this piece. Oh, my bad. This piece goes, and then these go on top, and then it goes just right around, and it goes the same for that side. So I can't put any of my interior pieces back in the car until the quarter glass windows are in. And Alex told me, sad face, we cannot have the quarter glass windows back in the car until the whole car gets cut and buffed. So I'm not entirely sure when he wants to come and do that, but I'll just have to live with it. It's real sad time we live in. But I did get the carpet and everything all cleaned up, so the car looks fantastic on the inside. I got some OEM satin black paint to match the rest of the trim over there. And it's gonna be for my center console piece here. I got a brand new shifter bezel that's inside. It's OEM from the factory, never used, so I don't have to use this crusty freaking gross thing. There's an automatic one that I had to modify so that way it would work with the stick shift. But the new one I got is stick shift one. Interior looking real nice. So since I can't really do anything with the interior parts, we're going to do the next thing that I have to do, I need to do. This clashes so much right now with the engine bay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop that. I'm gonna disassemble everything, remove everything from each other, and then I'm going to semi-gloss black everything. Dropping this thing was a huge, tedious process. I was going to time lapse it, but it ended up taking me a little bit longer, like 45 minutes or something, to get all these things all separated. The subframe is super confusing on these, so like, yeah. But the good news is everything is all separated and laid out. It's crazy to think how much stuff there actually is on the subframe. Quite a bit. So everything's all sprayed down. I got it soaking in degreaser, and then we're going to pressure wash it out. No, I'm not gonna lie, doing this entire subframe thing is very tedious. It is taking a freaking long time. Not even kidding. So these are actually still pretty clean, as in like they're not all gross and miscolored. I am gonna paint this, and I am painting the rear subframe piece that's right behind it. I'm not going to paint my steering rack because it's actually clean, like it came out okay. And then my sway bar, I'm gonna paint it because it's got some primer overspray on it. And then I'm painting the lower control arms because they're just ugly. I won't paint the top ones. I will probably hit the top ones with some like Scotch-Brite or some steel wool just to kind of clean them up, since those are actually a little bit hidden and can't really see them anyways. So slowly but surely getting everything all cleaned up. Got the sway bar painted. Got some of the other stuff painted that's drying at the moment. And then I got my stock struts here nice and clean, so those guys aren't all gross anymore. If you guys rewind a little bit and take a close look at them, you guys can see that these are very clean now. Right now I'm just kind of working on putting some stuff back in the engine bay. Alex gave me the go-ahead to be able to actually start putting things back in here. Now I'm just kind of screwing things back in nice and gently, and we are gonna start putting this thing back together. This looks a million times better than what it did before, like by a lot. I literally cannot even, dude, it looks so good now. There is no clash. Everything is just, it's so pretty. Golly, Alex just stopped by. He's fixing a little bit of gloss runs on here, like I was telling you guys about. He's got some of them ran out, but it's gonna take him a little while, so he'll be here and out and here and out. Gotta put the suspension back together. The control arm is probably one of the worst things ever. These are some really stiff bushings and stuff. Alright guys, got the suspension and everything all back in there. It looks absolutely incredible. Alex is going to come over and he's going to pour 15 this, or he's going to brush on some undercoat, so everything's going to be all nice and crisp under there. He might actually brush it on, just because if he brushes it on, it'll be easier. I'll have to just drop the coil over there, so that way he can reach everything. But I'm leaving a lot of this stuff to him, to have him do it, so that way everything is just perfect. This is his beautiful piece that he is doing, so man, I can't freaking wait for this thing to get done. I am so stoked. So plan for today, this thing actually turned out pretty clean. I need to order a can of paint from SEM, trim black, and I'm gonna do all my trim pieces again. So I did pressure wash this, and I actually did a Scotch-Brite on it, and it turned out okay, but it could look better. Okay, so I've been trying to figure out what I wanted to do with the wiring harness, because this bay harness, the fuse box sits here, factory, and then there's a harness that runs right over the strut tower right here, goes right out of this hole, and then goes right through here to bolt into, or to click into some connectors here for the fuse box on this side. Well, I decided to just go ahead and run it through this hole, and this harness here is actually more than long enough. I'm gonna have to run it up along the rail here, and you guys can see there's so much extra that's right here that should be running over the top of the bay. But what I'm really excited about is the fact that the fuse box can just mount right here, right underneath. So the fender will be here, and technically what used to be here was a great big tank for windshield washer fluid. So this fits perfectly here. You guys can see there's holes. I left some holes here. I didn't know exactly what I was gonna do with them, but that hole is perfect. Oh my God, I can't even sit straight here. I've got some mounting holes here. That hole's perfect for this guy right here. So I can literally mount that there. Be under the headlight, under the bumper, behind the bumper, and under the fender. And then I have a liner that's gonna go here too. So this can be underneath the liner. This is gonna be great. This is gonna work out freaking perfect. And then the engine bay is gonna be so perfect. Oh my God, dude, I'm so stoked. I thought I was gonna have to like cut and extend wires, but it's crazy how easy, like how these things just work out. The only thing that's gonna really suck is I don't think that I can keep running this factory box. I suppose there is a chance this guy goes in upside down like this, and I would have to figure out a way to mount it upside down. I haven't gotten that far yet. I do know that this car will never see rain. It's never gonna go outside in the rain. So even if I have to mount it like this, it's not gonna be that big of a deal. My only issue is I would like to have my cover on it. And unfortunately, I don't think the cover's gonna work without this. So these fuses are just gonna be upside down. Trying to do these updates through the day is kind of stressful. I had a bunch of people come over. Completely freaking forgot to do some updates here. So I got my interior redone. Redone this piece here that used to be silver, you see. I got it all satin and everything. Got a brand new shifter bezel. So it matches, everything matches. The interior looks fantastic. Started getting my pedal stuff back in. I got all my bars and suspension back in. Everything is all snugged down and tight. Next thing on the list is to put the engine back in. So I'm gonna get these things bolted down, and then everything's gonna be all tightened up. Tomorrow, my new friend Sean, because we're both Sean, that's Sean 1 and Sean 2. I'm gonna get this engine prepped up. I gotta put some stuff on there. I really don't wanna put too many things on there. I wanna get it in here as naked as possible so we don't risk pushing and scratching anything on there. Still wanna say, I am mega stoked about this freaking fuse box relocation. It's gonna be perfect. I am so happy with the way this is coming out, guys. This is probably the coolest thing like I've ever built. I love this car so much. So epic. Yeah, got the Supra pushed outside. It's kind of baking out there. Alex told me he wants it to bake, so if you guys have been following the only video that I posted of the Supra after it was painted, you guys will know that it needs to be baking in the sunlight so everything will get all crisp. And currently working on the engine. I have other Sean over here cleaning the engine mounts for the engine. And hopefully this thing, I should have this thing put back in here pretty quick. I gotta get this engine all cleaned up and everything, and then get the transmission and stuff put back on. I gotta put this speed sensor adapter here. So this is the little deal that goes for the T56 that allows me to set the speed at which the lockout for the reverse will deactivate, and then also for the speed conversion for the speedometer, because it's kilometers in that car, and I got to convert it to mile per hour. So I got to be able to, I have to put that on there first, because I found it was a very big struggle. I was going to try to install this before while it was in the car, and it just would not work. So now that it's out, I'm going to get it done while it's out and easier to work with. All right, engine is finished, finally. A lot of diligent cleaning time. Oh, I actually got to put the engine mounts on. That's pretty important. So thankfully Sean cleaned these. These guys are ready to go. Just got to bout those on and then take the engine off the stand, put the transmission on, and I got to do the little wiring deal. I got to make sure everything's plugged in and ran to the front, so that way I can actually do the wiring for it. And then it's gonna be time to put in the car. I'm encountering small little issues, like here's the power steering. They do make adapter kits that will make this come out at a 90 it'll be an AN fitting. That's no big deal. I can find something to do a relocation and make things work. As you guys see, I do have air conditioning. AC compressor is back on there. So everything should be good. It's gonna be great. I'm not used to having that. It was really weird to put this back on there. I've never put one of those back on an engine, so. All right, next steps. She's all finished. Valve covers are not on there because I did drill them and weld on bungs for my catch can, and Alex is gonna paint these. So this engine is all the way finished. Transmission's on there. I got my wiring here rooted up. I'm gonna have to figure out where to put these. So we got the speed sensor stuff and everything for right-hand drive. And so next is to slide this guy into the car. I got everything all blanketed over, so we have no chance, or very little chance, in putting scratches and problems into the new paint. The only thing I'd say is the firewall here, but with the way that we're gonna be putting it in, with the chain come along here, we'll have complete control over how far down it goes and then how far up it goes. So we can lower it slowly and everything when we put it in. Okay, so engine's in the car now. There might be a little stutter to the video, but that's probably because my phone's really hot. It's been recording for the last 33 minutes. But we had a little slight hiccup where I jump scared myself, and I was pushing all at the same time. I thought we took out the radiator support, but she's solid. The only spot that we had an issue with is right here. Yeah, you guys can see the white line is from this hook. I do have touch-up paint. We zero issues, no problem at all. Everything is like mounted in. I just gotta put the nuts on the bottom of the mounts here and then jack up the transmission and put the little bolts in that are already there. So I gotta put my cross member in, which is right here. All the bolts are still under the car, so it's gonna be simple to just reach up under there and get it done. But thankfully, she's in the car and it looks very pretty. We got some color clashing though, because that blue timing, but it really makes the engine bay look like it's berry green. Blue, purple, green. That's not the color combo I'm after, but that's what we got. Everything's mounted in there again. This is like, what? This is a change from the way the car used to look. This is just this is massively different. Thanks for Sean for all his help. Friggin'. It's really nice to have people over. You guys know I'm always doing this stuff by myself and never have anybody over because I don't ever want to bother anybody, but people that just want to come over, I am always down for that. But very helpful. We got this thing in here with basically no issues, minus that little tiny scratch right there on the bar there. and then I got this tiny little scuff right here from the, it's actually just a scuff. Like I can just put some buffing compound on there and it'll buff away. But this looks very good. I'm kind of like, we're in a predicament right now with this manifold. I'm not entirely sure if I want to do this. I might just contact the guy who made the manifold for Icebox, and then maybe have him make me one different. His turnaround time is like mega fast, and we're talking like a week. And he custom makes some things like really fast. But we've got all these other parts and stuff that need to go out to get paint for the Supra. Alex will be bringing me the doors here pretty quick, and then he's got the hatch in the wing. My TRD wing will be here in a couple days to get painted. And I can't drive this car till it gets cut and buffed anyways, so I do have some time to wait. I really wanted to be able to get everything cut and modified and fabricated like I wanted, because he's going to paint the compressor housing and the intercooler piping. I'm not sure what we're going to do with the piping, I think. I really don't know I got to talk to him, but got another part of the journey finished. And it's looking really good. The next step in this is going to be probably the wiring harness. I need to do this. It's going to be fully cut, all from scratch.